here. Okay, in this question, you're asked that you reacted 2 grams of oxygen and collected 1.4 grams of nitrogen gas. This is called the experimental yield or actual yield, but you need to find the percentage yield. The percentage yield, of course, is going to be equal to the experiment yield divided by the theoretical yield, everything multiplied by 100. So you're given the experimental yield, you have to find the theoretical before you find the percentage yield. Okay, so you're given the equation 2. Make sure your equation is balanced. I checked it's balanced, and because our concern is oxygen and nitrogen gas, we have to make sure we know how the reacting ratios come by. So 1 mole of oxygen will always give you 1 mole of nitrogen from N2H4. Okay, the strategy here, the map is showing that you need to convert the grams of oxygen to grams of nitrogen eventually. That's why I have a big arrow here. There are several steps in there. To break it down, the complete map strategy is converting the grams of oxygen to moles of oxygen, and then use our molar ratio here to convert moles of oxygen to moles of nitrogen, and then find grams of nitrogen, because the question gave us a yield of 1.4 grams of nitrogen, so we have to have it in grams of nitrogen. Now let's look at the process. So I'm going to use dimension analysis with the conversion factors listed on the arrow, and I'll explain to you right now how to use them. So remember, you are provided the 2 grams of oxygen that reacted, right? You have to convert that to moles according to a map to get to that step. Okay, so now to convert grams to moles, you have to tell yourself how many grams make 1 mole of oxygen gas. So each oxygen atom, according to your periodic table, has a mass of 16. Oxygen gas is the atomic element, gas molecule, so we expect 2 times 16 to give us 32. So 1 mole of oxygen gas will always weigh 32 grams. Remember, I don't have the 32 grams as the numerator. I have it as a denominator because I really want these first units to cancel out. So multiply 2 grams by 1 all over 32. You'll be left with moles of oxygen. But we don't want moles of oxygen, we want moles of nitrogen. So we use our conversion factor, reacting ratio of 1 to 1 of oxygen to nitrogen. Again, I want these units to cancel out, so I'll put my moles of oxygen as the denominator and moles of nitrogen as a numerator. Again, our goal is not to get moles of nitrogen as a theoretical yield, we want grams of nitrogen. So we multiply the moles by the molar mass of nitrogen gas. Each nitrogen in the nitrogen gas has a mass of 14, but we have 2 nitrogens, so the molar mass of nitrogen gas is 28. So when you do your multiplication, you get that the theoretical yield, the expected yield, if there were no errors in the experiment, would be 1.75 grams. Okay, now you have your theoretical yield. We go back to our formula for percentage yield, which is percentage yield is given by actual yield or the experimental yield divided by theoretical yield, and then we multiply by 100 because we need a percentage. So remember, the question said that you actually got 1.4 grams of nitrogen gas. So the percentage yield will be the actual, which is the 1.4 divided by theoretical, which you just determined up there, times 100. Turns out the answer is 80%. I know this has helped you out. If you need more tutoring, live tutoring like I've shown here, please find me as Dr. Moses in Wyzant, or click the link that comes with this question, and see you on the other side for more tutoring. Thank you.